2006 Dodge Charger. We're going to go ahead and replace the factory radio with a DMH 1800 NEX Pioneer. I'm going to show you quickly how to take it apart, the easiest way, the safest way, and the right way. So what you're going to have to do, first things first, you're going to need some plastic tools. Do not use a flathead. You will damage the dash. Use a plastic tool. So what you're going to do is you're going to slowly pry from the corner. There's a clip around here. There's the clips behind this corner right here. And there are also two here. This is literally only held by clips, so it's pretty easy. Just kind of work your way out. Once you get that out, go ahead and unplug the plugs from the back, also the airbag, and this whole bezel will come out. Here's the parts that are used: DMH 1800 NEX, the VT L17IR, SCH2, Maestro SR, P101, and the 99-6519B dash kit. Other than that, that's all you really need for this install. So, and also the video bypass from DIY Bypass. Other than that, that's literally all you need. Once you get the factory radio bezel out, we're gonna go ahead and swap out the climate control, the airbag indicator, and the two vents. We're gonna go ahead and transfer it over to the new bezel. So the climate control is gonna be sitting a little bit lower, which incorporates the double din. So go ahead and flip it over. There's gonna be a couple of small screws right here, and then besides that, the vents are only held by a couple of clips, so you only need a small flathead for that. We're gonna go ahead and transfer over all the metal clips as well to the new bezel. Just a heads up, these little screws are 4mm. Yes, they are pretty small, but that's the only way to get it out. If you don't have any 4mm, I would suggest you get one, but if not, you're gonna have to use a long nose to try to take it off. That'll take you forever though, but other than that, 4mm out, 4mm out, the vent, and then the clips. We've got everything swapped over. So you can see this is the old factory bezel. Got the climate control swapped out. The vents, like I said, it was only held by a couple of clips, so just push the locking tab away from it and it'll pop off. So once you get all that in, make sure you put the factory clips back to the new bezel, and this is how it should look. Now we're moving on to the harness. The iDataLink Maestro is pretty much plug and play. You do have to get it flashed from the iDataLink website, so if you don't have that, you're gonna have to go to the shop, create an account, or basically just pay anybody that has the account to flash it for you and set it to the Dodge Charger firmware. Now we're going to be using a DIY bypass. Now this is strictly legal to pretty much put on, so do this at your own risk. This basically unlocks the full functionality of the vehicle, from CarPlay to mirroring and things like that. Like I said, do this at your own risk. You can check it out at DIY Bypass if you want one of these, and then they'll give you instructions on how to install it. Since we're going to be doing the backup camera as well, go ahead and get the backup camera signal input for the radio. Now when you get this harness, it is connected to the harness, so it's getting a signal from the vehicle itself, but in my opinion, I prefer to just get the signal from the actual reverse light signal. So we're going to tap this in to the reverse light signal from the back, along with the power for the backup camera. But here's the bypass already situated. Like I said, it comes with the instructions when you buy from DIY Bypass, so do that at your own risk. But let's go ahead and plug it into the radio and test everything out. I've got the radio tested out. Everything works great. The steering wheel control works great. You do have to hook up the steering wheel control input to the output right here. I did place the mic right in front. It's the best location in my opinion. Ran it along to the side behind the panel. Now to remove this, you do have to pop off the trim ring. There's a screw right here, and this thing just pops off. Now it's just able to kind of snake it out there, comes out from the top. and then zip tied the excess harness. Now for the USB, I did run it right below here, just to the crevice, run it to the side. That way it's easy accessible to the owner itself. Besides that, everything is pretty much ready. Now, since we are doing the camera for the backup, we do have to run the RCA with the power and then hook it up to the unit itself. Show you what that looks like. We're gonna be using the Boya VT-L17R. Now when you take it out the RCA, it's gonna have one end like this. It's gonna have a red wire on the other side. It's gonna have this plug right here with a red and black. Now this goes towards the back. This goes towards the radio. Now this red wire you want to hook up to the purple white camera input, and then this goes in to the RCA input for backup camera, which is right here. Alright, we got everything kind of situated here. Purple white for the reverse camera goes to the red wire right here. Rear view camera in to the RCA. Steering wheel control input plugged in. iData link set up to go. Since this does have a factory amplifier, the jumpers need to be like this. And we're gonna go ahead and pretty much put everything in. The USB is already ran, so we're gonna go ahead and plug that in as well. Before you put everything to the dash itself, make sure you do check if you have pins 7, 8, 9, 10, which are these open ones. If you have a pin there, then you don't have a factory amplifier. So you do have to switch the green and white plug. So you're gonna plug in this green to the white, white to the green. Now since this does not have the wires, that means it's confirmed that it has a factory amplifier, and this does stay the way they are. Before we start running the camera wire or the RCA, go ahead and test it real quick just to make sure it turns on. And yes, I don't take the plastic off until the customer is here. That way they're the first one to put the fingerprints on the radio and not see mine. Alright, the radio works great, so we're gonna go ahead and continue with the backup camera install. And like I said, don't unplug this since it has an airbag, so just keep that on for now. Once you confirm the camera is running and everything else is working, that's when you put this panel back and secure everything. Go ahead and start zip tying the RCA securely to the factory harness, going over this metal to the factory amplifier location, and zip tie it right here. Now there is going to be a plastic piece right here that you have to pop off. It's just nothing but clips, and you're going to run the wire underneath the carpet. It does have some push pins that just pops off. Run it underneath and then have it come out right here. Now that we are in the backseat area, we're going to still run the wire right here. Then we're going to run the wire just right below this to pop the bottom seat off. Just pull it up from forward location. It's just held right here. So just kind of put some elbow grease and pull it up, and then it'll pop off. We got the wire coming out right there. So we're just going to go ahead and trace the other harnesses, and we need to get to this area right here where the grommet is, I believe, if I can recall. There should be a grommet somewhere in here, right there. Pop this panel cover off and go ahead and run all your wires along with the harness. Don't make them too tight. You want it to kind of flex a little bit, plus the movement of this. So just do it how like I have it, and then we're gonna go ahead and run the reverse wire to this harness right here, which should control the reverse wire. So yeah, just go ahead and put everything back, and then we'll move on to wiring. My original plan was to run it to the grommet all the way there, but it was kind of a pain to try to fish the wire behind the bumper when I can't see it. So I went ahead and drilled a small hole right here. Coming out to that one corner, I have a zip tie right now to fish the camera harness. Get all that in, and I also have a grommet to go around here. That way it protects the wire from getting cut. We have everything pretty much taken care of. Just kind of zip tie everything here. Then we're still gonna tap in the ground and the reverse wire. So we're gonna go ahead and either get the ground from here, the battery itself, and just a signal here. Haven't decided yet, but this is the grommet right here. Protected a little bit. Now we can put back the little mat for the trunk, and then we are almost done. Alright, in this taillight harness, the signal wire positive would be the white with light green. That's where you're gonna tap in the positive signal, and the ground is black with gray stripe. I already verified both of these, so go ahead and hook up both of these in line, and that should take care of the power for the camera and the reverse trigger for the radio itself. Here's the wires for the camera, power and ground. So go ahead and zip tie that, out of sight, out of mind, and let's go ahead and put back the last piece of the panel and test the radio. So I found something crazy. As you can see before, this was green to green, white to white. That's how the instructions have you do it. But the problem on this one is, since this has a factory amp, as you can see, the white and gray are the fronts, and on the other side there's no wires for the front, and that's where the speaker signals are supposed to go through. So I just went ahead and switched everything over. So as you can see now, the rear output is in the front, and then the front output is on the rear. What basically this is doing is it's summing it up. That way you'll get the front speakers to work with the Bluetooth. So I did confirm that. I made a phone call and now they can hear me. The problem that I was having before is they can hear me talk to them, but for some reason I can't hear them. That's because the speaker wires have nowhere to produce sound so you can hear them. So as you can see, like I said, the whites and the gray are the fronts, and that's what the fronts, when you make a phone call, that's where it goes through to the front speaker. And on the other side, factory, there is none. So like I said, all I did is switch these two pins. Now if you're not using an iData-Link Maestro, you can run the front output from the radio to the rear, and then the rear to the front. That way you'll have some kind of sound. So you kind of have to make it go backwards. So now that I got that situated, everything works now. Everything is good. Got everything tested. Got the Bluetooth situated with the whole Bluetooth not functioning right type of situation. CarPlay tested that already. Basically everything is working just normal. So calling the customer and let them know it's finished.